Hey everybody, it's 123 Mr. B. We're doing some breaking math practice. We are doing subtraction of division statements. Here's a division statement, here's another division statement, there's a subtraction sign between, so therefore we're subtracting division statements. First things first, I need to find a common action. Here, to divide by 3 and to divide by 6, that's doing two different things. So how I'm going to do the same thing is I'm going to rename these division statements so that they end up having the same action. Now that starts when I make skip count lists of my numbers and I find the lowest one. I could see common numbers here as well, but I want to use the lowest one because it's going to make life a little easier for us in advance. This is going to be called the lowest common divisor. It's a common number to both lists here, and it's the divisor in our division statements. That's the bottom number. So our LCD equals 6. Forget the 12 for now, okay? So make sure to let your teacher know that that's what you're talking about. Now from here on in, all we have to do is the second part of our thinking, which is rename our division statements. We have 8 over 3. That's going to be something over 6. Well, this is double of this, so this must be double of that. So that's where 16 is going to come from. And 5, 6, well, that's already out of 6, so I don't have to do anything. I could say that I'm timesing it by 1 if you really wanted to, I suppose. Anyway, so that's my new division statements. So I'm just going to bring them down. 8 divided by 3 is really 16 divided by 6, and this here didn't change one bit. So now here's that super important step. I'm going to collect them together on the one line with a common divisor here. Now here I'm going to do the math. That's going to give me 11 divided by 6. Now at this stage here, I'm going to skip count by my 6's, and those are, I'm trying to get as much as I can up to 11 without going past it if possible. So I have that's too big, but this is just enough. So I'm gonna break 11 down to be 6 plus something, and I know that's 5. Okay, so I'm gonna use that here on my next line. 11 is really 6 plus 5, and then of course I have divided by 6. At this stage I'm gonna separate those. I'll have 6 divided by 6 plus 5 divided by 6. And of course I know that 6 divided by 6 is just 1 plus 5 divided by 6. Turns out that it equals 1 and 5 divided by 6. So that means the answer to the original question as it was given is actually 1 and 5 divided by 6. All right, so let's try the next question out here before my marker runs out. So here again we have two different actions. Let's make our skip count list right now. 2, 4, 6. Okay, clearly 6 is the very first one. Lowest common denominator equals 6. Just a coincidence, that's the same as the previous question. That's the first thing in your thoughts that your teacher's going to want to see, okay? Now the next thing here is rephrasing. 8 divided by 3 equals something over 6. 3 gets doubled, 8 gets doubled, piece of cake. And then the other one, 3 divided by 2 equals something over 6. This gets tripled, so this must get tripled as well. So here's our new division statements here. So there we go. 16 divided by 6. Whatever the sign is, it comes down exactly there. 9 divided by 6. Now be very careful here. We bring everything together all over top of one common action. Dividing by 6 is a common action. And then I just do the math here. That's going to be 7 divided by 6. Now at this stage, I'm going to make my skip count by the bottom number, 6, 12. I'm going to get as high as 7 as I can without going over. 12 is obviously too high, so I know that I can split up 7 to be 6 plus some number. It's going to be 1. So I'm going to do that here. Instead of 7, I'm going to write 6 plus 1 all over 6. That's that common action. And now I'm going to split this up to be 6 divided by 6 plus 1 divided by 6. And that's going to be 1 plus 1 divided by 6. Or in other words, 1 and 1 divided by 6. So that means this original question here actually equals 1 and 1 divided by 6. Just like that. I think we've got two more questions real quick here. 5 and 8. Better start skip counting. 5, 10, okay, 8. 16, 24, 32, 40. Check it out. I know that 40 is going to be on this list if I kept going, so I'm just going to save some time there. So I know that my lowest common divisor is 40. Thank goodness for skip counting. Make a note here so your teacher knows what you're talking about. Now let's rephrase our division statements. 10 divided by 5 equals something divided by 40. Okay, so from here to here, I'm timesing by 8. So I have to times by 8. That makes 80. The other one, 7 divided by 8 equals something divided by 40. So I'm going to times by 5. That means after times by 5, that's 35. So that tells me, oops, this is my second part of my thinking. This is my new division statements that I'm going to use. They have a common action of dividing by 40, dividing by 40. So underneath here, I'm going to put that in place. 80 divided by 40, bring down whatever sign is given to me, and that's a 35 divided by 40. And I'm going to collect that, 80 divided by 35, all over 40, and I'm going to do the math here, so that gives me 45 all divided by 40. Okay, at this stage I'm going to skip count by 40 to get as high as I can under 45. Now 80 is way too high, so I know that I can break 45 up to be 40 plus something. 5 is going to be the missing thing. I'm going to use these numbers to break up 45. 40 plus 5 all over the common action of 40. Now I'm going to split this up again. So 40 divided by 40 plus 5 divided by 40, and that's going to be 1 plus 5 divided by 40, or 1 and 5 divided by 40, just like that. And that means the answer to this original question is 1 and 5 divided by 40, just like that. And one more just for good measure, if there's enough juice in the marker here. Check this out. We have the same action situation, 5 and 8. So I'm going to save some time and say the LCD is 40. I'm just going to look back to my previous question to know that. That's something we can do a lot of the time, saves us lots of time. So here I'm going to get something out of 40 here. Now I'm rephrasing the questions. 40 divided by 5 equals something out of 40. So here 5 times 8 gives us 40, so I got to do 40 times 8. Now check this out. 4 times 8 is 32, so if I throw a 0 on the back, I got to throw the 0 on the back. So I know that the answer to this is 320. Let's try the other one. 7 divided by 8. I think we did this on the other page as well. That's going to be times 5, so that's times 5, and that's going to be 35. So we could have looked at our other work if we needed to. So here's our new division statements. Let's write them in place. So I have 320 divided by 40, subtract 35 divided by 40. I can collect them together. 320 minus 35 divided by 40. And now I have to I'm going to just do a little mental calculation. 320 minus 35. Okay, 320 minus 20 gives me 300. And that's one chunk. And I got to spend 15 more, so that's going to be 285. Okay, that's just a little thought cloud here for this part here. So that's going to tell me I have 285 divided by 40. All right. Now at this stage, I'm going to skip count. Notice that my thoughts are always on this side. Okay, my work is nice and tidy. These are my thoughts. Now this stage, I'm going to skip by 40 to see how close I can get to 285. 40, 80, 120, 160, 200. Okay, let's just go with that for now. 200 plus 85. Okay, now I want to break this up to be with 40. How about this? I can go like this. 200 plus 80 plus 5. There we go. That's 285 all over 40. That was kind of a time saver. Now I'm going to split this up. 200 divided by 40 plus 80 divided by 40 plus 5 divided by 40. That's good. Okay, now what is this going to be? That's 5. This here is 2, and this is 5 divided by 40. In other words, this is 7 and 5 divided by 40, or in other words, 7 and 5 divided by 40, just like that. So that means the answer to the original question way up here is actually 7 and 5 divided by 40. All right, hope this helped. Check out the next vid.